In 2024, as an integral part of the Circular Economy Action Plan, the European Commission introduced a new framework law called ESPR, Ecodesign for Sustainable Products Regulation. Although we will explore this regulation in more detail later in the course, it is important to understand a key point right from the start. The new law requires almost all production sectors to comply with specific eco-design requirements. Some sectors, such as consumer electronics, textiles, and furniture, will be among the first to be affected. Therefore, eco-design, more accurately defined as life cycle design, will no longer be optional, but a requirement that must be met. And yet, despite life cycle design being a well-established discipline for almost 30 years, its adoption within companies and design studios remains limited. Theoretical and practical knowledge exists, but it has not yet become widespread within production and design organizations. This means that in the coming years, there will be a growing demand from companies and designers for expertise and operational support in life cycle design. In this context, both designers and design researchers can have a fundamental role in spreading eco-design within companies, design studios, and organizations more broadly. Recently, research centers working in this direction have increased, collaborating with companies, organizations, and even design studios through applied research projects or consulting. The Politecnico di Milano, for example, has been supporting companies for over 30 years in introducing eco-design practices into their product development processes through various forms of collaboration, which we will explore in more detail in this lesson. The first form of collaboration is carrying out environmental impact assessments, or LCAs, of products, where LCA stands for life cycle assessment. The goal is to identify the environmental criticalities of one or more of the company's products in order to define the priorities for life cycle design strategies, and then to redesign these products with a lower environmental impact. The results of an LCA on a reference product can then be used within other projects, such as the development of Handbook of Guidelines for the environmentally sustainable design of a specific product. These documents collect strategies and life cycle design guidelines specific to the company, developed based on the results of environmental evaluations like the LCA and the priorities for design intervention. These handbooks are fundamental tools for building a design culture and practice that enables companies to be autonomous and competitive in designing products with low environmental impact. A third form of collaboration consists in creating specific tools for the development of sustainable products. The goal is to facilitate the integration of life cycle design criteria into the company's product development processes. The starting point is usually an LCA analysis of an existing reference product, which is useful for identifying the main environmental issues and thus defining the priorities for life cycle design strategies. These priorities are then integrated into practical tools designed to stimulate the generation of ideas and concepts with low environmental impact and to support qualitative evaluation during development. These tools therefore make it possible to review design choices and optimize the reduction of environmental impact as the product is developed in detail before its engineering and production. The overall process helps to define the necessary skills, the most effective tools to develop, and the operational methods for more systematically integrating environmental requirements into the design processes of a specific company. The collaboration can also involve direct support in the design of new products. In this case, depending on the type of production company, the research group supports the business in developing low environmental impact products, or it can take on the entire design responsibility itself. This can be done in various ways, but it is preferable to start with an LCA of a reference product, followed by other activities such as idea generation workshops, then the development of concepts with possible assessment of environmental impact, up to, if requested, the definition of the executive project specifications and a comparative LCA to evaluate the actual improvement compared to the initial product. In addition to product design, it is also possible to develop design-orienting scenarios for strategic orientation towards sustainability, with the goal of exploring innovations in the company's offering model. This approach is known as Sustainable Product Service System Design, or SPSS in English, and it has been studied for several years. SPSS propose win-win offering models in which companies can extend their responsibility over the product's life cycle, for example by providing all-inclusive services such as maintenance, upgrades, repair, or end-of-life recovery, or by retaining ownership of the product and selling access through rentals or subscriptions. In all these models, since the manufacturer retains responsibility for the product's life cycle or ownership of the product, there is an economic incentive to design according to eco-design strategies, optimizing the product's lifespan, extending the life of materials, and so on. The development of sustainable scenarios, illustrated through visions and clusters of ideas for sustainable systems, therefore helps companies to imagine and plan new business models where the company's own economic interest drives the design of low environmental impact products, that is, eco-design. A final form of collaboration is training tailored to the specific characteristics and needs of the company. Research groups can offer companies update programs on topics such as life cycle design, environmental impact assessment, LCA, or system design. The goal is to update the company's internal skills by providing knowledge and tools suited to the specific production reality of the company or sector. In conclusion, introducing eco-design into companies is not just a technical matter, but a process of cultural enrichment in terms of skills and organizational structure. For this reason, there is a need for professionals who can guide companies through a gradual yet structured process capable of generating environmental, economic, and social value. As we have seen, both design research groups and designers can take on this role through various forms of collaboration. Having a range of collaboration methods, knowing how to choose them, and adapting them to different contexts is fundamentally important for the effective and lasting adoption of eco-design.